I mean, one way you know the industry tells you who to listen to and who not to listen to, because a lot of the rappers that are mainstream, that are famous, you know, it's always the same rappers. You know what I'm saying? It's like the same 10 rappers. And then maybe in a new year, they insert another one. And then that one becomes those 10 rappers. And then maybe like another few years, one of those 2 rappers may fall off, and then they just insert 2 more, and then they're in the cycle. Doechii, I just wanted to say real quick, she's like that new one if you look at it. Like how the industry's just like, Billboard names her Woman of the Year, you know, and all this other stuff, and then she gets the Grammy. She's the new female rapper that's been inducted. Okay, Cardi B, that was the original one. Like you see how they induct them. Like when Cardi B did Coachella, right? And then I have this on my channel too, by the way. Cardi B did Coachella, and then Jay-Z comes up to Cardi B and like shakes her hand like, I really like your stuff. Oh, you know what I'm saying? And then after that, Cardi B just took off. Like Cardi B wasn't even really famous yet. I mean, she had a buzz, but she wasn't like Cardi B now the way she is now, like doing Balenciaga, Louis Vuitton and all this shit. She wasn't that Cardi B yet. She was just like, you know, money bag, whatever her song was, right? And then after Jay-Z said, oh, I like your stuff, because Beyonce was headlining Coachella that year. So after Beyonce was headlining, Cardi B was in the crowd, of course, watching Beyonce, right? And so basically Jay-Z came out to her in the crowd and said, oh, I like what you do. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, you just saw Cardi B take off. So my point is that there's these rappers, these 10 rappers that they just fluctuate, right? Those rappers, some of those rappers will fall off, and then they will insert some new rappers, right? Okay, so let me see. I got my list right here. I'm making a list as I'm typing at the same time, multitasking here. I got 5 so far. I got Jay-Z, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole. I'm even going to put Doja Cat up in here. She's kind of a rapper somewhat, and she's famous. Doja Cat. Basically everybody that headlined Coachella. You know, there's a lot. I'm trying to think of the ones that were like around in the last 10 years, not just the ones that are around now. I don't know. Post Malone? Yeah, let's just say Post Malone. Post Malone. I was going to say Nas. Nas is my favorite rapper. He's definitely hit and miss. How could I forget Lil Wayne? So I got Jay-Z, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole. I don't know if Doja Cat and Post Malone really belong there, but we'll just go ahead and leave them for now, for demonstration purposes. Lil Wayne and Eminem. So this is my point. We have 10 rappers that these are the ones that are doing the big tours. These are the ones that are doing the big sellout shows. Oh yeah, and Kanye West, who just won't go away, right? But I'm you know, hey, I knew about Kanye before he became famous too. So I always respect Kanye for that. But yeah, Kanye's now kind of like gone a little overboard, I will admit. So Jay-Z, Cardi B, Nicki, Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole, Doja Cat, Post Malone, Lil Wayne, Eminem, Kanye. That's a good number that we have. Now, if you even look back before, we had, now this is the weird thing though, Tupac and Biggie never won a Grammy. So that's a whole nother discussion that we'll have to come back to later. But for the most part, these 10 rappers have always been in, you know, in that circulation, right? And this is my point. We know that there's a lot more than just these 10 rappers: Jay-Z, Cardi B, Nicki, Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole, Doja Cat, Post Malone, Lil Wayne, Eminem, and Kanye. That's my point. We know, especially all over the world, that there's a lot more rappers. There's a lot more rappers than just these 10 that they keep putting in circulation. Like, remember when 50 Cent was really big? And then you also had what? Like The Game. And then you had Eminem and The Game and all them at the top of their whatever you want to call it, league. Like, what happened to The Game, man? What happened to The Game? I'll tell you what happened to The Game. Somewhat of the biggest fall off of the century. Like one of the biggest fall offs of all time, dude. Like The Game kind of shows you what not to do in hip hop. If you really studied his game, you'll know that his game was not the game to do. Okay? I mean, I appreciate The Game because I've met him before and he was actually cool. I met him a couple times. He's actually a humble dude. So I respect The Game for that. But I'm talking about his business moves, his business tactics and his business moves were just terrible, man. Just like how he was beefing with 50 Cent and doing all that stuff. It's just like, yo, man, he should have just remained cool. He had that hot track, hate it or love it. He should have just rode that wave, which is what he's still doing now. And that was it, man. Like, when you started talking your shit about 50 Cent for whatever reason it was, but you forget that Dre put you on and Dre told you to go work with 50. And for whatever reason, maybe you guys just didn't get along great. I get it. Y'all was young at the time. So, you know, everybody want to be hard. That goes back to my point. Everybody want to be hard. You know what I'm saying? He should have just shut up, got in the booth, took advantage of the opportunity, wrote his raps, shut the fuck up, write your raps. That's it, man. Shut up and write your raps. But he didn't do that. He wanted to go out there and talk shit, talk on the radio, talk all this, talk all that. And then look what happened to him. Eminem, at the end of the day, who Dre, I guess, said is his best protege other than Snoop. Basically what happened, man. Eminem took 50 cents back over Game because you know why? Because M didn't sign the Game. M signed 50. Dre signed the Game and tried to bring Game into that whole aftermath situation. He didn't fit in. So what happened? What happened to the Game automatically or ironically? What happened to him? He didn't get to perform at the Super Bowl. You didn't get to perform at the Super Bowl, Game, because you was talking so much shit. See, if you would have kept your mouth shut and not did all that talking, you might have got a chance to perform at the Super Bowl. The only other way that Game is going to ever perform at the Super Bowl is if Drake gets announced and Drake brings the Game up. Because I think the Game is one of the few rappers that's had Drake's back since then. And why? Which is weird because Kendrick and the Game are both from Compton. But you know what I think it is? I think it's because Kendrick never really looked out for the Game. You know, just because they from Compton don't mean they got to get along with each other. You know, that's what y'all forget, man. Because when Kendrick did the pop-up, a lot of people were kind of questioning, why isn't the Game there? So to my point of that is that Game was in this circumference of these top 10 rappers. Game got inserted. He got signed by Interscope Universal. He was inserted into the mix, and he burnt his own bridge down. Like I said, take note of it. Now, if we also look at these rappers, we could just look at these rappers right here that are on the screen. And if you look at these rappers that are right here on the screen, all of these rappers are signed to a major label. Coincidence? I think not. Because that is my point. And I'm really trying to find the words to convey because this idea is so like deep embedded into my mind, but I'm just trying to find the right words to explain it. We know that there's a lot more rappers than what we see right here on the screen. We know there's a lot more rappers out there. Yes, I do believe for the most part that hip hop is an American sport. You know, because I know we can say, oh, we got rappers in Brazil. We got rappers in the UK. You know, you got rappers all over the world. But it's like, come on. Okay. Some of them might be putting out some dope shit. I mean, I do like some UK rappers. Some. Not the new Central C guys and all that. Sizzling sausages, sizzling in a saucepan. You know, no, I don't like that shit. That shit is stupid to me. But let's just go ahead and just say for these rappers right here. Do you see how some of them were in the mix and then they fell out and then they came back? Like you got Nelly right here. Remember Nelly was like at the top of the circle and he was out there at the same time that Jay-Z and Eminem and all them were rocking, right? Wasn't Eminem and Nelly like both competing for like the #1 album on the Billboard charts at one point? But I think Nelly took it over. It's so funny that Nelly is on this list too. Well, I guess he is under mainstream rappers. I didn't say the best rappers. Best rappers of all time. I want to just see what Google has to say about this. Jay-Z at #1. Kendrick at #2. So Kendrick definitely bumped up after the Super Bowl. Eminem at #3. Don't know about that one. Nas, Pac, Snoop, Biggie, Rakim. Definitely glad to see Rakim is up there. Lauryn Hill, Andre 3000. Definitely. Drake, MC Lyte. Okay, not mad at this. Except for Future. Future should not be on this list. Future should be nowhere on this list. Not even in the top 50. Not even in the top 50. If you guys are considering like the pioneer of rumble rap, mumble rap, rumble, whatever the hell you call it, then yes, I guess. Can you guys believe that if this is the order, if it's going from left to right, can you believe that Future is above Redman? That is a serious red flag right here. He's above Q-Tip, Scarface, oh my God, KRS-One, Lupe Fiasco, Redman, and even Jadakiss and Talib Kweli. You have got to be kidding me. But like I said, this is Google. Google's just finding, I guess, what the algorithm is saying. Thankfully, they did not put Future above Black Thought. Thank you. Oh my God. If Future was above Black Thought, I would have to just turn this off right now. I would have to turn this off immediately. Like, this is an interesting list. So I guess this is maybe pulling off of what people are searching, because it's like, where does it get this information from? I mean, it just says from sources across the web. So I guess it's combing through the internet saying that according to what everybody is saying, these are all the best rappers of all time. Now, some of it could be true. Some of it could be true. But I'll tell you guys this. I'm willing to bet that most of these rappers on this list, I'm willing to bet 80% of them are all signed under the Universal umbrella. I'm willing to bet. If we looked up all of them, I mean, I can already tell you right now, the first three are all on Universal. Next row, Nas was on Sony. Tupac, Universal. Snoop Dogg, Universal. Biggie, Universal. Rakim, I have to go back and look up Rakim. Let's look it up. Paid in Full. I mean, that's such an old album. That was a different time. You know what I mean? Let's see. Wikipedia. This is one of the best hip hop albums of all time. If you guys ask me, what are your top 10 hip hop albums of all time? This album will be in my top 10. Paid in Full, one of the greatest hip hop albums that ever came out. And this album came out in 1987. Okay? And I still feel that it's still better than a lot of albums that came out today. Label. Here we go. Fourth and Broadway. Look at that though. Island. You know who Island is? Island is Universal. So that's my point, man, is that all of these rappers are on a major label. So in order to get the exposure that they got to be considered and to be one of the greatest rappers of all time in the first place, they had to be signed to a major label first. You see what I'm saying? That's the point that I'm trying to make here. Now, is Andre 3000 one of the greatest rappers of all time? Yes. Is Nas one of the greatest rappers of all time? Yes. Is Jay-Z? Yes. Is Kendrick? Yes. Is Eminem? Maybe. Maybe. Definitely a great rapper. One of the best of all time. In my opinion, Eminem's first 3 albums, great. After that, I feel like he tarnished his legacy a little bit when he started doing songs with Rihanna. What was the song? I Can Make You Cry or Don't Cry or whatever the hell that song was. You know what I'm saying? You know what song I'm talking about. The song with Rihanna. I was like, oh man, you're hurting your legacy now, man. You're just hurt. Now you're just doing too much mainstream shit now. I feel like Eminem kind of fell off a little bit when he started doing that. But Eminem, respect, homie. You know, I knew of Eminem before he became famous. So it's like, yeah, man. But I got to say, man, I feel like he kind of tarnished his legacy a little bit when he started dropping all them mainstream, you know, all that shit, like the song where he's flying, with the video where he's flying through the air like he's Superman. And the you know, I don't even remember all those songs, man. But it's just like, come on, man. Come on. I just thought that shit was kind of corny and trash in a way. I mean, yeah, is he rhyming? Yeah, Eminem can rap. Yes, he can rap, man. Just because you can rap doesn't mean that you need to rap on beats like that or make songs like that. Not to mention that he's the only rapper, a white rapper at that has a movie about trying to become a rapper. Where all these other rappers are making movies where they're drug dealers or killers or pimps and all this stuff, you know. But Eminem is the only one that makes a movie where it's like, oh, I'm this rapper and I'm trying to freestyle at this battle, and you know he's on the bus and he's writing on his hand because he can't afford a piece of paper, so he's writing his lyrics on his hand. Oh my God, man! It's like, come on, man. Of course, you're gonna do that with Eminem. That was a movie that Nas should have done. Nas should have did that movie, but would it have been as big if Eminem didn't do it? Probably not. It would have just been like one of those little independent, low-key, cult classic movies, you know, kind of like Beat Street or Crush Groove or one of those types of movies. But when Eminem did it, it's like, oh, it's winning Oscars and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Which is good, man. I mean, he deserved it. It's a good movie. But why is it a white rapper that's playing that role is my question. So that's why I kind of feel like Eminem, you know, I guess it's blasphemy, however you say the word, to call him a little overrated. Little overrated. Lil Wayne, definitely overrated, as we covered before. Lil Wayne is above all these other rappers. Ice Cube, Mos Def, Common, Black Thought, Method Man, Q-Tip from A Tribe Called Quest. Not to mention that Future is also above Q-Tip. The blasphemy in this list. I guess Lupe Fiasco should be happy that he's just even on the list. Same thing with Pusha T. Yeah. All these rappers are signed to mainstream labels. And my point is that I can guarantee you that there's a lot of great independent rappers out there who are not on mainstream record companies who are much better than a lot of MCs on this list. I mean, some of these MCs, some of these rappers are definitely valid. I'm not going to say that they're not valid, but I can guarantee you that we can go look up some independent rappers. Like, for instance, let me think of one that are millionaires too. Like, let me give you guys an example. Have any of you guys heard of a rapper by the name of MF Doom? Have y'all ever heard of this rapper? He's pretty good. I like his music. You know what I'm saying? What he was doing. I mean, I would consider him one of the greatest rappers of all time. And thank you to who gave the likes and left the comments. Work hard. I appreciate you. Thank you, man. Because you made me think about some things too. But yeah, MF Doom is one of the best rappers of all time. I think anybody that knows hip hop agrees, right? Why is MF Doom not on this list? He should be on this list. And not only should he be on this list, but he made money off of raps. I mean, I think he became like a millionaire, if not close to it. So if you want to say, oh, well, he just wasn't making money, he wasn't selling. No, he was selling records. You know what I'm saying? Let's think of another. Let's pull up another one, man. Dilated Peoples is one of the groups that helped bring Kanye West into the mainstream because Kanye Dilated had the track with Alchemist. Oh yeah, not to mention that Dilated Peoples also helped Alchemist become a mainstream producer. All of Alchemist's early work was with Dilated Peoples and Evidence. Dilated Peoples is one of the groups that were signed to Capitol Records, one of the very few underground hip hop groups that were signed to Capitol Records. They had the popular track, "Well, worst comes to worst, my peoples come first." That was produced by The Alchemist, which is kind of the beat that put Alchemist into the mainstream, other than, of course, We Gonna Make It with Jadakiss, even though that beat was originally for Razkaz. I know some of you in the comments are going to say that. But Dilated Peoples, man, was like one of the groups. And shout out Rocka, man, my peoples, man. Rocka's my peoples. And Babu. But it's like, yo, Dilated Peoples is like one of the groups that was responsible for making Kanye West famous. For those of you that don't know. Interesting that none of the rappers from Dilated Peoples are on the list of the best rappers of all time. And I think the only rapper from the Wu that's on this list is Method Man. And Ghostface. I think I saw Ghostface. Yeah, Ghostface right here. He's a little higher than Method Man, which is interesting. I like them both. I met Ghost. Ghost is cool as hell, man. But I think Method Man, in my preference, I think Method Man's a little bit better. But I mean, everybody from the Wu, man. You could pick really any Wu member. You know, I'll tell you a Wu member that's missing from this list is Raekwon. And come on, you know who the most underrated Wu-Tang member is, in my personal opinion? Inspector Deck. That's the most underrated Wu-Tang member, Inspector Deck. Yeah. When I brought up Doom, when I bring up Evidence, there's a few others I could think of, or even Rocka too from Dilated. Danny Brown, yeah, definitely. Okay, so you got Doom. Big L, I think he should be in Greatest Rappers of All Time. Thank you for reminding me. Big L needs to be on this list. He should not be in the Underground Rappers list. He should be on this list. You should not have Future and Gucci Man and T.I. over a rapper like Big L. You see what I'm saying? Even AI doesn't even understand hip-hop. That's the point that I'm trying to make to y'all. See, some of these that are on the Underground are still on the Greatest of All Time. Black Thought, Mos Def, Tech Nine, Action Bronson, Kool Keith. Kool Keith should be on Greatest of All Time. Skizzo, I definitely like Skizzo. I don't know if he could be Greatest of All Time, but Skizzo. What do y'all think about Nipsey? I haven't even seen Nipsey's name anywhere, which is kind of weird. He should definitely be in Underground. Talib Kweli is on the Underground list, and he's also on Best Rappers list, right? Yeah, he is. Okay, good. But he's way at the bottom. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of accurate. I think the only one that they're definitely missing, that now that I've compared the two, the ones that they're missing is Big L, Doom, for sure. Those two should be on the Best Rappers of All Time. And that just goes back to the point, man, of knowing the culture of hip-hop and understanding hip-hop in its essence, hip-hop in its purest form, understanding hip-hop culture. And a lot of these cats just don't understand hip-hop culture, but they want to speak on the culture.